Hello everyone and welcome to this Shot of Fuchsia. I am John and with me I have Brady.
Hello.
We are from Bottle Fuchsia. We're here on the Outerhaven to show off Pyre. It is Supergiant's newest game, and Brady, I know you are a big fan of Supergiant games.
Yeah, definitely loved Bastion and Transistor. Have not checked out Pyre yet.
So yeah, let's jump right into it. I will say this game is very different than those two games. I feel like they went out of their way to make something different. So let me back up here. So this is right now the Overworld. This game takes place in
a skeleton.
Yep, basically in a skeleton.
Oh, for real?
No.
Okay.
It's just basically the Outlands. So we are cast out from society and we are trying to earn our way back in. We have a little wagon that we go from place to place, and we will move that around. The little flashing thing means someone in my party wants to talk to me in the wagon. So let's go check that out. This is Rookie Greentail. He is one of my party members. So before we talk to him, let's jump into the common room and give you a general idea of what's going on in here. So a lot of this game is story. I'll get that out of the way.
There's a lot of text like this?
A lot of text.
Okay.
So this will show everyone in my party right now. I have Headwind, Jodariel, Rookie, Bay, who we were given the option to name, and we went with Bay as her name because it rhymed with gray.
And you know, Bay caught me naming.
Mm-hmm. And Tizo. So each one of these characters has their own little backstory. The more we get to know them, the more this fills out. One of the things I really like about this game is if you're not sure what something means, you can hover over it and it explains it to you. That goes for character names, places, like this, cast. During the rites. And we will get to the rites. The rites is essentially the gameplay part of this game. But during those rites, you can hold B to cast an exile's aura ahead of you, which sort of, as it says, banishes them on contact. You can jump and rush as well during that.
Seems pretty good UI, with the highlighting context stuff.
Yep. These are the stats: glory, presence, quickness, and hope. And again, each one sort of gives you a breakdown of what it actually does. So the damage to the Pyre, each team's Pyre starts at 100. So if Jodariel rushes into the Pyre, she does 30 damage. Presence is how large her aura is, which is the circle that surrounds her. Hope will, if she's banished, how quickly she comes back. So if another team, casts and banishes her, or she gets hit by their aura, she gets banished, and then that's how quick she can come back. And then quickness is just how quickly she'll move around. We've got an item slot, so basically everyone can have one talisman, and that's about it. This is my cargo. I don't have anything in the cargo right now. And her skill tree, we can just take a look at really quick. Each character sort of has two skill trees they can travel down, and as their enlightenment goes up, which is essentially their experience, it'll fill up and they get to add to their moves. Usually the way I went about picking them is I looked at the bottom of the path here and then chose according to that. So for her, I liked the idea of people being away longer, so I started going down this path.
Did you eventually unlock both of those, or not enough points by the end of the game?
By the end of the game, you will probably get down one path, and then you'll get 3, so you can get to the bottom, because that's all it takes. And then with most of the characters, I got a 4th, so you can just fill up this side, or take the top one on the other side.
Okay.
And it depends. It's a 3v3. The rights are 3v3, and as you can see, there's more party members than 3, so you can't take them all in. If they're not involved, they get some sort of background XP, but that doesn't, you know, it just means next time they're in it, they'll get a little bit more. So this is inside of my wagon. I can click around on stuff.
So you have a party wagon with a talking dog.
Yes, that is correct.
Cool.
Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to click on that, but we have a traveling minstrel with us who sort of guides us along, and one of the neat things that you can do in here is any music you have come across, it will play sort of an acoustic version of that music. So,
Nice. Thrash pack.
yeah, so that's the music of one of the enemy teams that I had played against. The book is very shiny.
Yeah, it is.
It's basically saying there's new information in here. So this book fills up as the game goes on. Right now, we're pretty early on, so we're still in like chapter 1. And as you click in, you can inspect, so it makes it a little bit easier to read. And Supergiant Games loves their backstory, and the worlds they build are phenomenal. I found myself reading most of this text as it was unlocking. And there is certainly a lot of it. So if that's your thing, then don't worry, they have you covered. There is plenty of text.
Sweet.
So, finish that little ditty. Nope.
Let's play it again.
Alright, let's see what Rookie wants. Something's troubling Rookie. So yeah, as I was saying, even if you forget, like you can hover over. So Rookie Greentail, relieved to see me. So Barker, that was another dog that we played in our last match. So there's kind of voice acting in this. It's sort of outlandish gibberish, I guess.
Yeah, fairly common, I think.
There is an announcer who will speak, I guess, in English, but so far he's about the only one that you encounter at this point in the game. Oh, I'm sure I'm going way too fast. So basically,
He's pissed about Barker.
yeah.
Just-
So we figured out the Rookie owes a debt of some sort, and maybe that's why he was an outcast. And I think if we go in here, no, so this didn't really explain anything. Maybe it unlocked the fact that he's a trafficker. I'm not sure.
Oh, I guess as you play, that stuff sort of unlocks.
Yep.
You get more details.
So yeah, we don't know his crime, what he did yet. We know he owes some money, but we don't really know what he did.
So all the people in these games are criminals of some sort?
Right, they've essentially been cast out.
Okay.
Kieron Tavares.
This guy's the one playing the sweet tunes on the right, huh?
It is. I assume all the music is him.
Nice.
So, like this flagging hand, I'm like, I don't know what the flagging hands are. Yes. It's kind of exactly what it sounds like. Alright, so this is essentially the overworld.
It's very pretty.
Yep, very colorful, and we're gonna, jump to the next world. The music's so good. It shouldn't be a shock, but
Yeah, it seems on par for Supergiant.
Okay, so no one really wants to talk to me, so let's consider how to proceed. So no one really likes this area. So the next rite. So essentially what my character is the reader, and I can read the stars and basically am directing these characters to the rites. Every rite is the meat of the game. That's where the gameplay is, where it's just like the 3x3 ritual. And we don't really know why, other than we have to perform the rites to earn our freedom.
Yeah, makes sense.
And there are a bunch of stars. You'll see them sort of all over the place, like up here behind him. Those are like the number of stars that we need to have. We need to earn that number of wins to earn our freedom. So now we have the Beyonder Crystal, which adds another character. It's calling to me. Beyonder Seeker seeks Rookie. Yep. So the Nightwings is the name of my team, so to speak. So now we've met Sandra, who is the lady trapped in the orb.
Why not?
Yep. The voice is, we'll hear the voice later, is the one who talks to us during the rituals. She offers Scribe Trials, which are special challenges for each of our companions, and if I pass them, I get a special talisman for that character.
Okay.
I get
previous games had similar things like that, like trials that unlock certain things.
Yep. So, and this is essentially the game's way of, if you want to practice the rites, you can come in here and practice against her and like her team. You can talk to her and see what's on her mind. So she's sick of talking to all the people she's trapped with.
Yeah, it seems like a small crystal.
Yep. Alright, so let's do a trial since we're here. Choose among the worthy. So right now they're all... Rookie's the only one who can do it. So let's do Rookie's.
He seems pretty worthy.
He is, yes. The cur, that's what they're called in this game. The dog folk.
Okay, so that's not like slang or anything.
Nope. And we looked at the orb too deeply. I love that this level takes place on a book.
It's kind of cool. I'm guessing the normal rites don't.
No, the environments vary from place to place as well. Oh boy, okay. Whoop, that's no good. Luckily, he comes back pretty fast.
Is that always, or just because this is the trial?
He always comes back pretty fast, so I'm gonna dive right in. So because this is just a trial, it's only to 50 instead of 100, which is what normal matches go to. Oops. Ah, shoot. That was close. So
I didn't realize that text were like rolls.
Yeah. I did not realize that the first time I played through this either, and I was very confused about like why my shots weren't hitting and things like that. Luckily, I'm up against a bunch of demons who are the slowest type of character, and the curs are the fastest, so I'll be basically run around and try and blast them to get their numbers down. Whoops. Oh no. But they have huge auras. The aura will disappear if you have the orb.
Okay, so that's how you're killing them when they're really close and you respawn.
Correct, yes. So this should be good. And I can throw the orb. Whoa. Ah, so they can also do that. They pass it very quickly to bring their aura back. So I can throw the ball to, or orb to them and sort of blast them because it makes their aura go away. I can throw it into the pyre. They keep catching it on me. But again, they're slow. Enough of trying to throw this in. Just believe me that it happens, and I'm going to dash it in.
It's all about the dunks.
So 2 of them down. Let's see if I can. Ugh. Despite having beaten this game, I'm still not great at it. And especially these trials can get tricky when it's 1-on-3.
Yeah, this seems to be difficult. Normal matches are always 3v3.
Yes. So doing a lot of jumping over me, and it's kind of what I'm trying to do as well. I can jump over their aura. So let's try and get in here. Oh, and there we go. Kind of messed up. They knocked me away, but I still won. Ruki's the best.
Does have a sweet stash.
He does. So I can't remember. I guess we'll find out here in a second here if they get experience for that or if they just get the talisman. Svang. So after he casts his aura, it lingers longer. So when I fire it out with B, the thing in a straight line,
The line stays longer.
the line will stay there then.
Okay.
So let's hop in here. What did he have? That added quickness. I basically, once they have their talismans, I give them their legendary talismans pretty much every time. Quickness 11, 17, 13. Let's give it to Tizo here because he's a little slow. Speed him up a little. Okay.
So you are playing with a controller here, right?
I am. You can play mouse and keyboard, but I found this game to be much better with a controller.
Yeah, the actual gameplay seems controller based, but this might be better with a mouse. I don't know.
Yep, and I can switch back and forth, so now it's a mouse. So we lost hope because where we are is miserable.
That'll do it.
So we've got like a little Oregon Trail-ish thing going on here. Alright, so we have our first option here. We can go to cold mode. Get a valuable item if we take a job here. It's a faster route, so we would lose less hope. You can improve a talisman if you take a job here. Let's improve the talisman. It's going to make everyone sadder, but
you can buff a single talisman, I guess, if you go this way.
yeah, we'll see what the lone minstrel gives me here. Okay.
Just gonna plant some foul seeds.
I guess. Alright, Alright, so we got a dash of Stardust. So Stardust is an item that increases the level on talismans. So this will increase it by 2. And once I get back to the wagon, I can show you how that all works. But we are approaching our destination.
Something very stinky.
Yeah. So Tizo's fine. So we lost even more hope because we took so long to get here. Alright, so Ruki wants to talk to me, but first let's use that Stardust. So let's so Ruki's Fang is a level 5. As far as I could tell, rank 20 was the highest any talisman can go up to. This will rank it up by 2 levels, and if I hover over it, it'll say, you know, it'll show
what
the effects.
Improves.
Yeah, which is handy. So this one's a legendary. It's not going to hurt to improve this one at all. So we'll throw that on there. Book is shining. Means there's something new. So it will generally jump to the new page. So again, lots of text to read if you really want to dive into the backstory. Let's see what Ruki wants. So much closer now.
So embarrassed.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's important, John. Listen.
What do you think, Brady? To make him look
He's
unscrupulous?
a criminal.
Say it looks perfectly fine. It's
Yeah, I think it
very
looks
handsome, and if
perfectly fine.
anything, it gives them a distinguished sort of look.
Yeah, I don't want him to get rid of it.
Might be better off without it. Something. So the thing I like about this is it gives you all these options, and then again, hovering over them, even more flavor text behind that decision. Say nothing. The appearance is not your concern.
Just stand there. Don't say anything. Stare ahead absently.
So, what do you think? Say it's perfectly fine?
Yeah, definitely.
Perfectly.
He was just testing you.
In my other playthrough, I made him shave it.
Oh no, and it actually removed it?
Yeah, he's like, hang on a second. He goes away and comes back with no mustache.
He's like that for the rest of the game?
Yeah, the rest of the game. Ruki with no mustache. I was curious, mainly curious if that would happen that way, and it did. So, you know, I had to know.
Yeah.
So this is Falcon Ron. He is the merchant, and that is his dad, who he is riding on.
Sure.
Before all of these rites, you can trade with him. We don't have anything to give to him, so that stinks.
Do you get like a generic currency, or he actually trades items for items?
So yeah, these coins, and by making decisions like we did during travel, you can search for items or train, or you have a bunch of different options. And he will just sit there and yammer to himself. You can apparently put him to sleep, and he'll stop talking.
Oh, so sleepy.
But I didn't know that, so...
What about his dad? Does he do anything when you click on him?
Nope.
Oh, no.
Just Ron. I buy a lot of the Stardust to level up.
Seems pretty useful.
So that was 2, and this is only 3 gold, so let's get that. And let's just keep powering up Ruki's. So now he's at 300%. So we took it from 200 to 300. Thanks, Ron. All right, so let's commence the rite. Let's see what Tizo actually means.
Okay.
very concerned.
So I guess you won't be able to play with him for this one.
Maybe? I mean, he was the one who wasn't losing any hope, so I hope I can select him.
Yeah.
Bog crone. Serpent creatures. So the Commonwealth is the area we were cast out of.
Okay.
So which Udmilda? Maybe? Let me go with that.
Yeah, good enough.
So the Withdrawn is their team name. Tizo has no. Alright, so now we're going to get into the gameplay. I mean, it's all gameplay, but sort of the more hands-on.
The basketball.
Right, the 3v3 basketball American Gladiators get dunked on game.
Made it all the way to the
So this is the
detestable
voice.
pit of Middle-east. In doing so, of course, you have
But
disturbed
this thing in the
your
background
ancient
isn't the
adversaries.
voice talking.
No, that looks like it's like straight out of Evangelion.
I was thinking like Kira, maybe?
Sure, yeah. It's got a lot of teeth.
In all this. Now, as you know, I normally would wish you a shameful defeat.
He is a dick. He
But
does
in
do
this
that.
case, I wish you a little bit of luck.
So this world, there are 8 scribes, which they're basically like the gods. And these folk worship basically like the monster that the 8 scribes fought.
And Ruki put on his tournament clothing.
Yes. Basically, when they conduct the rites, they all wear robes and masks. So that's what she actually looks like.
Okay. Good thing she has a mask.
Mm-hmm.
Soup?
Pretty much. Turkey.
The rite shall begin forthwith.
Alright, so Hope 19, Hope 6, Hope 23, Hope 18, Hope 19. Alright, so who should we use here? So if they have green, that means they'll get a little bit of bonus XP because it means we didn't use them last time. Well, let's go with Ruki.
Yeah, he's got the sweet talisman.
Yep. Let's go with Bae. She is a savage. So, and that's the other thing too. So up in the top left, you can see their race. So it's an imp, which basically they pull our wagon, but he's special, so he's on our team. Bae is a savage. Jodariel's a demon. And Headwind is a nomad. And we can't see Ruki because we already picked him. But we'll pick Bae. And who should we go with?
Is comp important? Like, should you have a fatty to balance out the team, or?
I would say that's probably a good idea. So like presence 23 or 17 is good. I'm gonna say Jodariel. And then her aura. Basically, when the characters' auras connect with each other, they strengthen the others, so we now connected all 3 of them.
Okay.
So that's not a bad defense. You can see the crones is like, bog crones is all like weird.
Yeah.
The first dousing.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, the Bogcrones can leap very far. Whoop.
And so you scored, so you go away for a little bit?
Yeah, if you
A second wind.
basically hurl yourself into the pyre.
Your pyre cannot take much
So yeah,
more
if
of
you
that.
hurl yourself into the pyre, that
Your
character is then
adversary's
out
fire now
until
burns brighter than your own.
you score again with a different character, then they are out. Or your opponent scores and then everyone comes back. So they're back to full strength now
Okay.
because I score with Ruby. If I score by throwing the orb in, you don't
That's it.
get banished for that. So let's see if I can. Ah, missed. Okay. Let's see if I can get around these. So she's got a pretty good jump too.
Yeah, that was nice.
There's a little flash there too. Had I timed it right, I would have gotten a bonus. Okay.
The field goal.
Yeah, so there you go. That's throwing it in. And I held it. Depending on where you throw it from and how long you hold that, the points will vary.
So if you do it from your side, it's a lot of points.
Yeah, but you can't throw it that far, so.
Name I shall repeat.
Oh.
Yeah, that has
Best beware of
Yep.
foul sorceries.
So they made the play area kind of a nightmare to play in now.
those are just walls, right? Or do you take damage when you...
I think they're just walls. So I'm just gonna try and run away here.
Spectacular flames of freedom.
I'll take it. So I only need 15 more, so just a dash with
More like
Rookie
that
should
and we
do
are
it here.
finished here.
That was silly of them. They just jumped into my aura. Oh! I
Alas
kind of got
for
bounced around. Ooh. I should have jumped. That was my bad. Oh. Good thing they're bad.
Choked to the open net.
Yeah, pretty much. Do it, Rookie. Oh, no! Alright, so let's just play some defense here. Ah, jump is vicious.
Glorious.
Come on.
Okay, so you can swap between characters.
Yes,
Whenever.
I can. So I can press A to pass between characters. I don't do a lot of that. I'm sure that's terrible, but
Accomplished effortlessly, I might
that's
add.
generally how it. I get sort of wrapped in with one
The
character
ceremony
and sort of
is complete.
if I take Rookie to the other side of the map, but they take it, I'll usually just switch to a character who's back by the pyre and
Yeah.
basically leave Rookie for dead because they are going to banish him if I just leave him over there.
Boundless are the teachings of the scribes.
So did she? Okay, cool. I get to pick another skill for her. So we can make her aura larger, or at the start of any of the rites, if she's in, we get 135 instead of 100.
Seems pretty good, right? More health for your pyre.
Yeah, that is good. The way I ended up playing it was I'm going to beat all the teams 100 to 100. So I
Yeah.
didn't pick that one last time, and I think I picked the aura. I can't remember what I did. You can also salute, which is a thing I never do in the matches. I guess it's like a taunt, but it's not a taunt, it's a salute. So it's like the opposite, but it's like the same sort of effect that you would have in a video game, maybe. I don't know.
Does it buff your team or hurt their team?
I'm not entirely sure what the salute does. In this situation, if I had that skill and she saluted, then so I would salute and then 7 seconds after I would do more damage.
Oh.
So I think it just sort of adds to skills, but doesn't have any real impact either way. Let's go with the Pyre.
Something's awakened in the moon-touched girl.
So basically, she's a little crazy, and they call her moon-touched.
That's a kind way to put it.
Yeah. If Faye is banished while jumping, she shall instantly return at the origin of her jump. That's kind of cool. While grasping the orb, she sprints, jumps without using stamina. That sounds really good.
Yeah, it sounds like overkill.
So,
A devious trick
yeah, let's
from
go
the
down
rope
that
collar.
line. That's a good one.
Until the stars align.
So let's get a little bit more story here, and then if there's anything else you want to see, we can hop around. But that's the general gist of this game. I don't want to spoil too much of it, since it is a very story-driven game.
Yeah.
It took me about 14 hours to get through.
Is there New Game Plus and all that?
Not really, but the game is made essentially so that... No. I think when I finished, if you load the game, it just puts you right before the end. But there are multiple save slots, so you can start a second game. The game splits, so like a lot of these choices matter, Brady.
Oh.
And more so than just the, do you want to go this way or this way and spend time training or get an item? The game branches very quickly.
So there might be replayability just to see the different branches.
Correct, yes.
I felt like Transistor, it didn't click until the very end, and then it made sense to do a second playthrough. It was almost set up that way.
Yeah, this is very much multiple playthroughs because of what the game sort of forces you to do and the decisions it makes you make. So after every rite, me being the reader, I get to gaze up at the stars and find the next star where the next match is going to be. So that one is going to be here.
And this doesn't branch off. It's kind of linear, the thing you pick.
At this point, it is linear, yes.
Okay.
There is a point in the game where you can pick which star you go to, but as of right now, this is all linear. I will say that every time I thought this game was going to become a slog, sort of as the game reveals what it is. So Sandalwood, we don't know. He's the one who gave basically the wagon to Hedwyn, Jodariel, and Ruki, and is the lone minstrel's client. So he's basically funding this adventure for us.
He's your basketball team sponsor.
He's our owner, yeah. But basically, every time I thought this game was going to become a slog, it found ways to sort of pivot and change what I thought the game was going to be. And it was like, oh, well, that changes everything. And it kept me invested instead of like, oh, well, now I know what I need to do and it's going to take forever to do this. Yeah, let's hear him out.
Sure.
I don't know why I would not want to hear him out.
Yeah, I love his tunes.
Yeah. Elish the Astralborn. So, right now we're just getting some more backstory. So, yeah, here we go. The 8 scribes, revered as gods. The downside is the area that we are in. I couldn't remember what our exile area was called. So I don't know if they could have made a game any different than Bastion and Transistor.
Any more different than this?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the feel is there, like really stylized and pretty unique combat or gameplay.
Yep, the world building is very similar in that it's very deep and in depth. But I found when I played Transistor, I was constantly comparing it to Bastion because of how it played and how it felt. This game, they found a way so that you can't really compare it to that, other than the art's really good, the world's, really established, the music's really good, like the hints around the edges are there, but the gameplay itself is very different. So, I was gonna say let's leave the story there. Leave Big Bertrude for everyone out there to find out. We can poke around here a little bit. Let's see if... Can I quit? I don't know if I can quit or if that's going to knock me back out. Oh, no. Never mind. This is what I was looking for. So versus mode is in here as well. You can just play basically the right games against the CPU or head-to-head on one machine. So
local only.
Local only. It's probably not playing this online is probably not the thing I would do. I think the gameplay is very fun. It kept me engaged through all 14 hours. I liked playing it. I liked the strategy that there was with it. But I don't know that playing online is something that I would ever do, even if it was there. So their choice of keeping it local, I think, is a fine one.
Yeah, I think personally I would try it once or twice maybe and then not really go back to it.
Right, and if you're sitting there next to someone, then you can properly trash talk them, etc.
Oh yeah, that's the important part.
Right. So other than that, it's just a single player. You got a little bit of that multiplayer, and then that's pretty much Pyre. I'm just gonna pick a random tune here to play us out.
Yeah, it definitely looks really interesting.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it, especially if you liked other Supergiant games. If you liked what you saw here, this game is a lot of what you saw here. There's tons of story, lots of reading, lots of interesting backstory, world building. As I said, that book of Rites is just, it fills up the further you go on. The replayability is there with, some of the choices the game makes you make. And yeah, I can't really say enough good things about this game. I can understand why some people don't like this, that the Rites, if you don't like that gameplay, if you don't like that 3v3 game style, it's going to be a lot of that. If the story and world traversal is a little bit too slow, I get that, but I personally really, really dug it and enjoyed all of my time with it. Was
it $20 brand new?
It is currently $20 on Steam.
Seems like a pretty good deal.
I think it's on Xbox One and PS4. I'm not positive on that, and I am sad I don't have that pulled up right now, but I have been playing it on PC. I'm fairly certain it's out on consoles as well for the same price. Well worth the $20 for sure. So on that note, thanks for joining me, Brady.
Sure, thanks for showing off Pyre.
Yeah, so we've been Bottled Fuchsia. Be sure to stop over, check us out at bottledfuchsia.com and our YouTube channel. And check back here on the Outerhaven's YouTube channel, and we will be back to bring you some more of our favorite games. Thanks, Brady.
Sure. See ya.